Hi everybody, I hope you're all well and dandy out there in Beatles world, YouTube land and the VC. Big hello to all the record collectors around the world as well. It's Beatle Dave calling to you from Derby in the UK. This is like the last of my finds for June of 2023. I know this is the beginning of July, but I had two parcels come in the week and haven't had a chance to make a video, so these are technically still from June of 2022. This is one parcel and this is the other parcel. I haven't actually been able to play any of these yet, so you're going to sort of like be seeing them as I am. So this is the first parcel, which is a lot of Beatles albums or Beatles solo albums. There was one sec. Right there. Like I said, I haven't played any of these. The first one is a copy of Tug of War by Paul McCartney. This is actually in really, really nice condition. The sleeve and everything is really, really nice. Yes, I know it's not the rarest Paul McCartney album in the world. It's probably one of his better solo albums, though, to be honest. If you don't know the track listing, it's side one is Tug of War, Take It Away, Somebody Who Cares, What's That You Doing, and Here Today. Here Today is an absolutely fantastic song that is Paul sort of like singing about John Lennon. Side 2 is Ballroom Dancing, again a fantastic song. The Pounders Sinking, Wonderlust, Get It, Be What You See, that's a link, Dress Me Up As a Robber, and Ebony and Ivory. And this was actually produced by George Martin. This is a UK copy, so it's PCTC 259. So that's all the track listing on the back. And when I've showed you these, I'll actually tell you how much I paid for them. So it's on Parlophone stroke EMI. So that there. You do get the inner sleeve with it. So you've got all the words to the songs and everything on this. Like I say, this is probably one of Paul's better solo albums, in my opinion. So that is side 1. It's like on a Parlophone custom label. So I think in America, I think you got this on the Columbia label, didn't you? And I think in Germany it would have been on Odeon. Now this record actually looks like it's never been played. I know I do say that about some of my records that that I do get, but this actually does look like it's never been played. Really, really lovely shiny record. It does look like it's never been played. Like I say, you get that as well, the all important inner sleeve. So that's the first one. What's that? That's there for. Then we've got a copy of Ringo Starr's 1973 album, simply called Ringo, but this is from 1981, I think, because this is on the MFP label instead of being on the Apple label, which is actually harder to get than the Apple version, believe it or not. Great album, doesn't really need any introduction, does it? I think you all know the songs on here. I'll just run through them in case you don't. You've got I Am the Greatest, which of course was written by John Lennon. Have You Seen My Baby? Photograph, fantastic song. Sunshine Life for Me, Sail Away Raymond. You're 16, You're Beautiful and You're Mine. Side 2, Oh My My. Step Lightly. 6 O'Clock. Devil Woman. You and Me Babe. So like I say, this was actually on the MFP label, which was like a budget label for EMI. On here it says the 12th 1980. This is the original inner sleeve for it. So you don't get the booklet, it's not a gatefold. This one again looks like it hasn't been played, or very, very rarely been played. But it does need a clean this. So that is the labels, that's side 1. And that is side 2. Again, great record. If you haven't got this album by Ringo, it is worth checking out because it's sort of like a Beatles album. Excuse me, I've got the dreaded hay fever again. Because John's on it, Paul's on it, and George is on it virtually all the way through. And this was produced by Richard Perry. 1973 original sound recordings made by EMI Records, previously released on the EMI label PCTC 252 under the same title. So this is MFP, and the number on this is MFP 50508. Like I say, it's not a gatefold sleeve, so the back is slightly different, and the front is slightly different as well, I think. Great album. If you haven't got it, I would highly recommend that you do find a copy. Then we've got this one. This is a 12-inch single or extended play. No More Lonely Nights by Paul. This was from the film Give My Regards to Broad Street, wasn't it? The film was absolutely slammed by critics, so was the album. I've always thought the film was okay, to be honest. Yeah, Paul's not the greatest actor in the world, but it has got a good storyline to it. So side one is No More Lonely Nights, extended version, so that goes on for 8 minutes and 10 seconds. Side two is Silly Love Songs, which is not the Wings recording, it is a re-recording especially for the film. And then No More Lonely Nights ballad at 4 minutes 38 seconds, produced again by George Martin. Quite a nice photo of Paul on the front. So this is on Parlophone. So the number on this is 12R6080. This does need a clean. This has had very, very minimal play, to be honest. Side two. To be honest, I don't really collect 12-inch singles that much, but you know, these are getting quite rare now in the UK, to be honest. And that is that sleeve or cover is in really, really nice condition. Then we've got the Beatles ballads. This is all off the same seller. If you don't know the track listing, because if you're a newish Beatles fan, you probably won't even know what this record is. It's a compilation album, and it's what it says. It's the Beatles ballads, or you know, like more sort of like love songs. There is actually some good songs on this. So you've got side one is Yesterday, Norwegian Wood, Do You Want to Know a Secret, For No One, love that song, Michelle, Nowhere Man. You've got To Hide Your Love Away, Across the Universe, All My Loving, and Hey Jude. Side two is Something, The Fool on the Hill, Till There Was You, The Long and Winding Road, Here Comes the Sun, Blackbird, And I Love Her, She's Leaving Home, Here, There, Everywhere, and Let It Be. That is the track listing at the back. I'm not sure if you actually got this in America or not. This cover, by the way, this like painting here, was rumoured to be what the White Album cover was originally going to be when it was going to be called The Doll's House or Music from the Doll's House, something like that, wasn't it? A Doll's House, Music from Doll's House. It's on a 2-box Parlophone. PCS 7214. Again, this actually doesn't look like it's ever been played. It is a little bit dusty, but there's no spindle wear on that whatsoever. Again, not the world's greatest or valuable Beatles album, but in all fairness, some of these compilation albums that came out in the 70s and the 80s are actually now quite rare to get because these have never been re-released, have they? Which is a shame because, you know, if you're just getting into the Beatles, these sort of albums are really, really nice to have. Again, great selection of songs on this. I think this is quite an overlooked album in a lot of ways. Some fans don't like it. They'll say this is like a rehash of the Love Songs album, which to a certain extent it is, because a lot of the songs on here do appear on the Love Songs double LP, but not all of them. And I love that painting. Yeah, they do love that painting. Now we've got one from George, another 12-inch single, When We Was Fab. And this is quite funny because obviously you know that from the Revolver, don't you? Revolver album. So Klaus Voormann drew that, and he also drew that. So side one is When We Was Fab. Unextended version, it says. and Zigzag. Side 2 is That's the Way It Goes remix, and When We Was Fab reversed ending. Of course, this was off one of the highlights of his sort of like comeback album in 1987, was it? Cloud 9. It was on his own sort of like label, Dark Horse. 1980. Yeah, 1987. Again, very, very dusty, but I don't think this has ever been played. Side 1. Side 2. Does need a good clean, don't get me wrong, it really does need a good clean. But that labels, I always think that label looks really, really nice. Again, getting quite scarce to find these now, especially in the picture covers. Excuse me 1 second, folks. Ugh. So, my eyes are running and my nose is running. We've got another one from George now. 1981, Somewhere in England. This has got the hype sticker on it, which says includes the hit single all those years ago. And this was originally £1.99. £1.99. I think if you go to HMV, this is about 25 quid in it now. So you've got Blood from a Clone, Unconscientious Blues, Rules. You've got Life Itself, All Those Years Ago, and Baltimore Oracle. Side 2 got Teardrops. That's quite a good song, to be honest. That Which I Have Lost. Writings on the Wall, which again is a good song. Hong Kong Blues and Save the World. The standout track on here, obviously, is All Those Years Ago. Originally, this was going to be released in 1980, and it had a different cover, and the record company wasn't happy with the track selection that George had got, so we had to record 3 new songs and take 4 songs off. I think that's right. But I've always liked this album. I think it's quite a good album. Not on par with All Things Must Pass and things like that, but I think it is George actually enjoying recording a song, and obviously All Those Years Ago, you know, is his tribute to John as well, isn't it? Like Paul's Here Today is a tribute to John on Tug of War, which looked at earlier on. Again, this is actually really, really nice condition. I can't actually believe how nice these are. You get the original inner sleeve with the lyrics and everything. That's not a very nice photo though, is it? Acupuncture. No, I don't think these have ever been played. Honestly, don't think they've ever been played. They do all need a clean, don't get me wrong, but I don't think they've ever been played. Side 1. Side 2. Again, it's probably not the hardest George Harrison album to find, and you can usually pick it up for under £10 anyway. This, but in all honesty, it is one of his better solo albums, and I think it's worth a hell of a lot more than £1.99. Although I suppose that was about the going rate, wasn't it, in 1981 for an album? £1.99, £2.50, £3, something like that, wasn't it, for an album? Yeah. Lovely album. Again, if you haven't got this one, check it out. All of these, the albums anyway, I presume that if you like that and you're wondering whether to buy them or not, you could actually stream some of the songs off a streaming device. Then we've got a collection of Beatles oldies but goldies. This was the first ever Beatles compilation album released in the UK, by the way, in 1966, although this is a repressing. Yeah, I've got some good songs on this. You've got She Loves You, For Me to You, We Can Work It Out, Help, Michelle, Yesterday, I Feel Fine, Yellow Submarine. Side 2, Can't Buy Me Love, Bad Boy, Day Tripper, A Hard Day's Night, Ticket to Ride, Paperback Ride, to Eleanor Rigby, I Want to Hold Your Hand. And some of these were actually sort of like remixed by George Martin. So it's a UK copy, so it's on PCS 7016, that is the number. And apparently this photo is the wrong way around. Or so I've been told. It's got a original EMI, excuse me one sec, advertising sleeve, which advertises things like McCartney, Ringo's Sentimental Journey, Let It Be, Abbey Road, Sergeant Pepper. That's on that side, look. And these go for quite a bit on eBay and places like that just for the sleeve. So this is a later copy. It's on a 2-box EMI Parlophone, but you do still get the Gramophone Co. Limited text on the inner label, and you get Made in Great Britain right there at the bottom. Yeah, that one has been played. This one has been played, but not a great deal. That's the labels. So this is stereo. When this originally came out in 1966, in time for Christmas of 1966, by the way, you could get it in mono or in stereo. Later copies you can only get in stereo. Nice little compilation album then. Again, this probably is one that should maybe be re-released, or you know, should be held in a bit more higher esteem than it is. I think a lot of Beatles fans at the time when this came out didn't like it because he was paying full price for Beatles album and there was only one sort of new song, which was Bad Boy, which we couldn't get in England until this LP came out. But even that was like over a year old when it came out on this. So it is a nice album though. But I will admit I prefer this in mono to stereo, but it still sounds nice in stereo. And then the final record that we've got in this bunch is, he says, Paul and Linda McCartney Ram. This is an original UK first pressing. It's not in excellent condition. It's in okay condition. I mean, the spine and everything's okay. It's got tape on the back here. It is a gatefold. Lovely gatefold sleeve. And I actually think this is one of Paul's best ever albums. Would you class it as Paul McCartney or Paul? It's the only album ever credited to Paul and Linda McCartney. A lot of these songs do sound very Beatley in a lot of ways. So you've got Too Many People, Three Legs, Ram On, Dear Boy, Uncle Albert, Smile Away. Side 2 you've got Heart of the Country, Monkberry Moon Delight, Eat at Home, Long Haired Lady, Ram On, and Backseat of My Car. Really enjoyable record this is actually. Oh, the catalogue number, by the way, it is on Apple, is PAS 10003. You know, this is one of the albums, or probably the Paul McCartney album I play the most out of his entire collection. This has got some marks on it. Let's say it's not brilliant, but what I've paid, I think it's okay. Side 1. And then side 2. Again, all of these records, I've got to clean them, I haven't cleaned them. But this has got some strange marks there. Don't know if you can see it like there, but they're not feelable. I don't think they're crayon or I don't know if that was done at the pressing plant. I'm not sure. It's on that side, and then there's a couple on side 2. Just there, look. But like I say, they're not feelable, so I don't think they've been drawn on or anything. It's probably just dye or something from the pressing plant. Again, fantastic album. If you haven't got it, probably one that should be in your Paul McCartney collection. One of my favourite records of all time, actually. You'll have to excuse me. My eyes are streaming and my nose is now streaming as well. So it's the dreaded hay fever, folks. Then we've got this one. Now this is quite special, he says. Now if you watched my video from last week or the week before, I did tell you that I actually watched a film about David Bowie, and it was called Moon Age Daydream. Now this is the soundtrack album to it. It's sealed, it's brand new, I haven't opened it. And there's some fantastic songs on here, slightly remixed versions and things like that. This is three LPs, by the way. Before I go into that, all these, right, how many was they? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 8 records there. There's 6 LPs and 2 12-inch singles. I got all of them for £12, or £12, all of them. And then it was something like £8 for the post and packaging, so it came to just over £20 for all them. But I think that's actually quite a bargain, because if I went into certain record stores to buy these brand new, I wouldn't be able to buy one of these brand new for that. That's if they actually stocked them, which they probably don't. So I think that was an okay purchase. Very, very happy to have them, to be honest. Yeah, this one is a 3 record set. And it's actually on Parlophone, believe it or not. Just there, look. So some of them are live versions, some of them are alternate takes and things like that. But after watching the film, which I said on the other video, it like just makes you wonder what David Bowie would be doing if he was still here with us today. Some cracking songs on here, really. I'm not going to go through all of them, but you've got Hello Space Boy, you've got Life on Mars, you've got Moon Age Daydream, a live version of that. You've got a medley of the Gene Genie, Love Me Do, and then the Gene Genie, and that features Jeff Beck, believe it or not. I think that was recorded at the Hammersmith Odeon in London. You've got Quicksand, an early version. You've got Rock and Roll With Me Live. You've got Aladdin Sane, brilliant song. What else have we got? Heroes, live version of that. DJ, one of the most underrated David Bowie songs there ever is. I think that should have been a massive, massive hit. You've got Ashes to Ashes. You've got Let's Dance, Modern Love, Rock and Roll Suicide. Again, a live version. Excuse me one sec. Oh, just gonna blow my nose, folks. Hello Space Boy, Heroes, Starman, Changes. It's a fantastic film. If you haven't watched the film, if you've got Netflix, just watch it, especially if you're a David Bowie fan, because it's actually free to watch at the minute, or it was. I didn't even know the soundtrack existed. It wasn't cheap though. I think this was the best part of £50. Like I say, I haven't opened it yet. I haven't played it. I will open it and play it, don't get me wrong. But I've been at work all week, so today is the first time I've had a chance to look at these properly. But yeah, this is one that it's a dead weird film to watch, but it's a lovely film to watch. And if you're a David Bowie fan, you really, really should watch it. And like this, even if you think you've got everything David Bowie ever released, which I thought he had, some of the songs on there are different versions to the ones that were released on the Ordinary albums. So in that way, it is a must if you're a David Bowie fan. I'll go like that. I will take it up very, very slowly. So if you wanted to freeze and zoom in, you can actually see all of the songs that are on it. So I'm actually quite excited about this, and I'm looking forward to listening to it. I don't know if it's on coloured vinyl or not. But yeah, I really, really am pleased to have this. And to be honest, although I paid a lot of money for it, it wasn't the most expensive one that was on eBay. So yeah. And then finally, I've got two little bits of memorabilia that my mate brought me back. It went on holiday to Spain. I think it was Spain anyway. And he sent me a text message and he goes, "Oh, do you want? I've seen these things. Do you want them?" I did pay him for them, don't get me wrong, but I paid him pennies for them, to be honest. And they're like Beatles plaques, so you can like put on your wall, or if you've got a garden shed, you can put on the garden shed. So that's the first one. And then that's the second one, which is slightly bigger. You're getting a bit of glare off them because they're still like in the plastic wrapping. And I paid him £6. £6 for them. Bear in mind, they come from Spain. Now, where I live, there's like a touristy place called Matlock, and you can actually get these of things similar to this in Matlock, and they charge you like £15 each, a minimum of £15 each. So yeah, thank you, Kev. So that's gonna be it. Oh, excuse me. I know it looks horrible, and I probably look like death warmed up, but I just thought I'd go through these because that's it now for June. Don't know what's happening in July yet. Hopefully we will be going to some record fairs, or maybe even, excuse me, or maybe even a couple of car boots later in the year, hopefully. The weather here is absolutely shit today, to be honest, which I can't understand why I've got hay fever as bad. So whatever you're doing, please stay safe. I hope this has been a bit of entertainment for you. And like I say, them Beatles albums, I think I've got a real bargain there for what I paid for them. The David Bowie one, I'm not really bothered what I paid for it. I'm just happy to have it. I have got quite a decent David Bowie collection, which I will show you one day, but if I did it all in one video, it would be a very, very, very long video. But if you want to show you my David Bowie collection, leave me some comments, and if I get enough comments, positive comments, I will do it. Might have to be over so many parts, though. That's the only thing. I mean, I've got stuff from before he's famous up to, you know, his final things. I've got the toy album. I've got the toy box set. You know, I don't think anything's exactly really, really rare as such, but, you know, David Bowie was always in my life from when I was a kid, basically. His songs were always played on the radio in the UK, and he was a real big influence on me, musical influence. I'd say virtually on par with John Lennon. He was a one-off, David Bowie was. You know, he did glam rock, he did sort of like opera stuff, like Beals him or whatever it was, and he was actually a good actor as well. The original stage play of The Elephant Man in New York starred David Bowie, and he didn't use any makeup or anything. It's fascinating to watch clips of that if you can find them on YouTube. There is clips of it in that film that I was on about, Moon Age Daydream, which always makes me wonder why I didn't do the film, because when they filmed it, the film was based on the stage play of The Elephant Man, and I can't really understand why David Bowie wasn't asked to be in it, or maybe he was asked to be in it and he couldn't do it because of all the commitments, tours or something, because it went to John Hurt, didn't it? Who did a fantastic job, by the way. I'm not saying he didn't deserve to do it, but it just makes me wonder why David Bowie never did the Elephant Man in the film, or never did the film with the Elephant Man. Anyway, you are all the Beatle Dave. I love you all. I'm sorry that I'm sniffling and stuff now, so I think it's time for me to say bye bye and cheerio. Thank you to everybody that is subscribing, leaving me comments and leaving me likes. Just do me a favour, even if you subscribe, just leave me a like if you've liked this video. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe, because it is free. It doesn't cost you a penny. And you know, we do, although 99% of the time it is the Beatles, we are doing things now and again on other artists. So if you want to see other artists, let me know as well. But again, just drop me a line or a comment. I hope you're all safe, and whatever you're doing, please, please, please look after one another. And that's going to be it. Remember, Beatle Dave loves you all, and I do mean that sincerely when I say I do love you all. So until the next time, it's ta-ra for now, my ducks.